This is Wes. I'm putting this little disclaimer out there. This video is, I don't know, 18 months or older. It's funny to me that we are still talking about the same things, still arguing over the same things, still doing the same things about the things we are debating and arguing over. It struck me as funny. It's I'm just going to put the one out. Ignore the part about the Patreon video. I never put any of it up. I'm fairly sure it's because when I got to the back end of it, the camera had run out of space, and there's no real end to the video. I don't get to a point. So it's long. But I invite you to watch all the way to the end before you make your first comment. And then let's discuss it. Because I bounce around. This is me. I bounce around. Just because I'm talking about it the first minute of the video doesn't mean that I'm not going to touch on it again 20 minutes into the video. Watch it to the end. And let's see if there's a way to have this discussion and do something with it. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Dog doing weird stuff. This is Wes S. Welcome to Wes S, the real one. I don't know whether you're watching the Patreon version or the YouTube version of this video. This is that shirt the wife bought me, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Yes, it has become my favorite shirt. I've had a few people in the comments ask me to do a scripted video about what I really think is going on with everything. There's no way to do a video about what I really think is going on, because there are so many different things happening right now. But we can touch, and I mean just touch, on a few things. And that's what we're going to do. Like I say, I mean, I don't know if you're watching the YouTube or the Patreon version. If you're watching the YouTube version and you're like, wow, you got to go see the one that's going to be on Patreon. It's probably going to be the same video, but there's going to be a lot less of it cut out. Because there's, things you just can't say if you want anybody to find out the video was uploaded. If you even want the video up to stay uploaded, if you don't want it taken down, they don't harass unlisted videos. There you go. That's how that works. What does Wes S think is really, really going on? Well, we've got a few narratives that the news wants to harp on all the time. We've got, they're always yakking about the COVID thing. They are always yakking about the Black Lives Matter protests. Their new thing is they're running the federal law enforcement enforcing local laws, which they're not, thing to pieces. I have a cord between me and y'all, and that dog thinks she can walk wherever she wants to. And then we have the election. Elections, by the way, there's a whole lot more than just the presidential election going on this year. FYI. My opinion, what I think about, this is what I think about the COVID-19 thing. It's a real virus. I can't find enough substantiatable information either way, man-made or not man-made. So I don't know. The initial response, because what we saw, what we knew about what was going on in China, of bam, let's quarantine everybody, find out what's going on, flatten the curve, get the hospitals ready, open the economy back up, and then treat the patients as they come home. That was a good plan. That's not the plan we stuck with. Everybody's saying that Trump's not doing it right. But Trump never intended to shut the economy down for forever. He wanted to give our hospitals a chance to get ready. He wanted to give the different agencies a chance to collect as much information as they could to adequately fight COVID-19 so that we could minimize the number of deaths. There's not any way to eliminate the possibility of death or permanent damage from COVID. They don't have the power to do that. They still can't do that for flu. They can't do it for a myriad of things. So to say that we can't open the economy back up until we find a way to completely eliminate the threat of a specific virus is ludicrous. It is the Marxist left, it's the communists, the progressives, the liberal left, whatever you want to call them, they're the ones that want to keep everything shut down. And there's a reason for that, I think. Right about the time everybody was sick and tired of being stuck at home, and oddly enough, after a lot of people wound up with more disposable income than they actually calmed down, actually needed at that time, because they actually hadn't felt the pain of the shutdown yet. I mean, it was coming, but the fact that uptick in all the sales and stuff means that these people knew that it was disposable income and they went and blew it. But right about all this time, when everything was happening, when people were like, oh man, we wound up with riots in the streets over something that was handled well by the police department. When they realized what the officers had done, they took the appropriate action. And it wasn't the protests and the riots and stuff that made that happen. It would have happened just with the video. So this whole Black Lives Matter bullshit that is going on out there. Most of the people protesting in these rallies and stuff aren't even black. okay? I know that you don't have to be black to support equal rights for, or you don't have to be of a specific race to support rights for a specific race. But this is America. All races in America have the same fucking rights, okay? All races in America have the same rights. The end. God gave us the rights. They were acknowledged by the founders of our country. They weren't given to us by the authority. They were acknowledged and guaranteed by the Constitution. We all got the same rights. Brown, yellow, red, purple, green. Goulash. We all got the same ones. And then we got the federal law enforcement enforcing local laws. They're talking about that a lot. But hold on, skipping ahead. I'm supposed to be looking at these notes and staying on topic. They got a bunch of, basically what they did with the Black Lives Movement is they got a whole bunch of really bored teenage and 20-year-old people to go out and tear stuff up. It's anarchists that are protesting. Now, some of the people are out there just because they're bored and they want to be able to carry a sign and they want to feel like they're a part of something. You're a part of the United States of America. If you were doing your civic duty, then things would be going better, period. But if you weren't sitting there going, my civic duty requires that you hand me the stuff that I want. No. It is not, we're a republic. It's not the government's place to see to it that there's food on your table. It's the government's place to make sure that people don't steal the food off of your table. And that to make sure that you have the rights and privileges and means to prevent somebody from taking the food off your table. We let too many lawyers manipulate too many legal precedences to make things too clouded so that none of us can actually understand what the law says and actively enforce it ourselves. The Black Lives Matter movement, one of the things, this stuff is all coming down from the Marxist communism, man. It's the people trying to take over all of it, every bit of it. The way they're handling the COVID, and not the president, the way everything that they try to do, the city mayors, the governors, the mainstream media, they're all trying to stop every positive thing that the president does to start the recovery from the shutdown. Every positive thing that our current administration does to try to shut down the riots and the destruction of public and private properties by these people, they attack and they prevent and cause more division. Trump right now, I honestly believe, is playing into the hands of the Marxists. They want him to use federal law enforcement. I mean, they're not giving him any choice. So he has to use the federal law enforcement. If they can diminish the capacity of the local law enforcement to do their job, then they can justify a new police force. New legislation controlling a new government-run law enforcement system, reimagined law enforcement system, that answers to the people, which the police departments already do, but answers to the people. But it's not going to actually answer to the people. It's going to answer to their elected representatives, which is going to give them giving the government law enforcement capabilities against you, over you. 1984, anybody? He doesn't have any choice but to put him in there, but I think he could do it better. That was the dog, that was not me. By charging the officials that are preventing the police from doing their job with crimes. But the military, National Guard, whatever, Marines, whoever they send in there, they're not law enforcement. So they have, if they have to use those to quelch this stuff, then they will have to come up with a law enforcement system, a law enforcement division that has the authority to go in and handle stuff like this. We're walking back and forth. Sit down. Sit down. You don't want this? I'm going to shut her. I'm going to put her on freaking eBay. She wants me to let her in the house. We can't keep letting the communists play us like this. Is it coming to a time where we've got to rise up and resist it all? Who do we resist? We can't show up in Washington, D.C. armed to the teeth and rush Congress and put them all on the gallows and hang them by their toenails until they repent. I mean, that's not going to work. I mean, if we just take out the government that we have and don't have another government, well, welcome to America with a K, or China, or see, I give Canada, if America falls apart, it will take Canada about eight weeks to fall to Communist China. Communist China will move right in because climate-wise, that's part of North America they want. All that free electricity, all that lumber, all that coal, all that iron, all those natural resources that Canada has. China eat that up. They got plenty of Chinese up there. America ain't going to be able to do nothing about it to help them, because we had a civil war and we kicked our government out of office. We ain't got nobody to tell the generals and admirals and such and whatnot what to do. We just got a bunch of little 200, 300, 400 man militias running around trying to take care of their county. Which this not gonna do any good, because the people in charge of the county that raises Milo are going to be pissed off at the militia in the county that raises the peanuts, and then there's going to be some kind of issue with fertilizer and bug spray or whatever over on them guys that raise watermelons and the dairy bunch, and then you've got the
the militia that's there to support and protect the cannery and the harvesters and after they get the laws in place where the federal government can send the federal popo in, then they'll steal the election. The populace of the United States, when it comes to who they want to blame, are a bunch of airheads. It doesn't matter who's in Congress or the Senate or whatever. Whoever the president is, that's who you blame. The administration's what caused all those problems and blah, 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 blah. It wasn't the president that wrote the legislation, that voted the legislation. It was him that had to make the decision, okay, do I want this good part of this to go through, even though it's got this bad part in there, because if I line item veto the bad parts and stuff, the good part will go through, and then they'll take it back through, and they'll overvote, and they'll overturn my veto because they've already had enough. I mean, that's how it works. It's not like the president is king. He can't just say, no, that law's not going to pass. That law's going to pass. They have the power and authority to overturn stuff. Watch your ears. The dog disappeared and I heard a horn. I don't want her over there messing with them guys doing the Sadie bird. They wasn't honking at you? Okay. Thought you was over there getting in trouble. She's a troublemaker. She's a rebel. If it wasn't against the law, I'd get one of them their battle flags. Put, like, spray painted on her side. It wouldn't last always, she said. But anyway. That's what I think. That's what I think is going on. Do I think we're totally screwed? Not yet. Do I think we're in trouble as far as the ability to get ready for what's coming? It's getting to a point where I'm really starting to worry if there's a lot of people, if there's enough people out there that have the means and the time to get ready for what's coming, because they just got woke up. I'm scratching my dog's butt, in case y'all wondering. So it's going to put a lot of people into a position where they're going to have to do things that they ordinarily wouldn't. They're going to behave in ways that they don't really want to, because, well, they've got a wife and children or a husband or a grandma or something that they want to take care of. Does that make them bad people? No, it's going to put them on the side of situations that they're not going to want to be on. You're not going to want them to be on. If it keeps going like it is, this is something else Wesley thinks is going to happen. What's coming? It's getting closer and closer to a situation where dump trucks are dumping, they're cleaning bar ditches somewhere. They're piling blow sand up over there. Anyway, it's getting closer and closer to time or to a time where we're going to have to literally fight with our own neighbors to stay alive. Would you two wrens just go somewhere else? Y'all making all kinds of noise. Little bitty birds about like that. Just that's all that noise comes from, two little bitty birds. I'll put wren houses up all over the place because they're like my favorite bird. Well, I have like a lot of favorite birds. I guess I like birds. I'm jealous of them. Well, jealous of everything but their life expectancy. They don't. They get to fly around all over the place. They don't have to pay rent. They do have to worry about predators, and bigger birds, and poison, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does suck to be a bird. But they're stuck in the same boat that we are. Really, they got to do life. The only real advantage I guess they have over us is they do what God intended for them to do, and that's about it. It's not just our country, the United States, that's falling apart. It's the entire world. And unlike other channels out there, I'm not going to sit in one country and tell another country how they ought to run their business. Socialism is a failed concept. Now, the unicorn farts and magical fairy princess shit that the Marxists tell their drones is how it works. If that was the real deal, I'd be a communist. But that's not the way it works. It was never designed to be like that, and it will never work like that, because you have to, in any equation, you have to put in human. When you put in human into that equation, it's automatic. You just automatically type in the words corruption, because that's what you got. Sorry, but truth in advertising, that's what it's going to be. There's no magic, beautiful, wonderful life out there, because we all just share everything we have, and we do the best of what we have, because we just want everything to be good. And we all appreciate each other for our humanness. No, I'm not going to make you a sandwich. I'm not going to trade you my sandwich, half of my sandwich, for your cheap knockoff of Van Gogh spray painted on the side of the White House. No, I ain't going to do it, man. They do me no good. And I figured out what them two little birds doing. One's mama and one's baby. And she's teaching the little brat how to eat. She's showing her where to get the bugs, and then the bird will come and she's giving her the bugs that she's catching out of the bark. Noisy. It's a noisy process, apparently. All day long just trying to make groceries. That's the way we're going to be. All day long just trying to make groceries. Going to go to bed at night trying to figure out how we're going to get groceries the next day. Wake up in the morning trying to figure out where we're going to get enough water to make the day. You're going to have a sore neck and an eye strain headache from checking every nook and cranny to see if there's somebody hiding in it to try to take away your groceries or your water. Or whether or not the guy sitting across from you at the coffee shop is listening to every word you say so he can phone you into the reimagined police because you're obviously being subversive. Yeah, I want to know how all you Marxist, leftist, democratic, socialist, republic type dumbasses out there. Here's what I want for you to do. Let's come get my dog. No. I want you to watch the movie First They Shot My Father, or Killed My Father. True story of what happens when the communists win the revolution. That's what happens when the communists win. Every country it's ever happened in. That's how it went down. Congo, Vietnam, North Korea, just the way it works. China. So, and pay attention because a lot of those people didn't really fight against communism. They just didn't fight for communism. Entire city herded into captivity and made slaves because they didn't fight for the winning side. So, I'm not saying that to tell y'all that y'all are going to win and it's going to be y'all are going to come out on top. I'm telling you to reconsider what kind of human being you want to be. Now, to all the Republicans out there, the ones that think, you know, that our country needs to be made up of free men and women governing themselves and working in Congress with each other as a group to secure the common welfare, okay? To create a more perfect union in which to live, where everybody works together to make sure that everybody gets a chance. not to make sure that everybody's supported, but that we're all on the same page, but yet we're all independent. That's not communism. That's not socialism. That's a constitutional republic. It's not, I'm a sovereign citizen. My rights is my rights. I don't have to do nothing for nobody else. Don't want expect nothing from nobody. They shouldn't expect nothing from me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to splice this together because I ran my head too long. I don't have to expect, no, they can't expect nothing from me. And I shouldn't have to expect nothing from them. That's not a republic. You need to study a little bit more. Yes, we have individual inalienable rights, but with a citizenship to this country, or of this country, in this country, you now have a duty, a responsibility, a set of things that you are supposed to handle.
Like I said, there's kind of, it just petered out. I ran out of room on the SD card. And I guess that's why I didn't really finish out the video, or I guess I could have gone back out and finished the thought then. I don't know what exactly was going on. But here's the thing. This country is us. You know, the government of this country is supposed to come from the people. And it's supposed to be by the people. And it's supposed to be for the people. It's not supposed to be just lawyers and doctors and judges and college educated politicians, you know, people that they literally go to school to learn the science of politics. They used to teach political form in schools. That's important. They used to teach the way it worked so we could participate. We don't need to be a pure democracy or a communist country or a socialist country. We're a republic. You know, it was a bunch of states that got together so we could have a union, so we could stand against outside influences and have freedoms and liberties. The downside to democracy, a pure democracy, is that everybody gets a vote. Okay? And if 60% of the population is dirt poor and can vote something in that will make life better for them, that's what they're going to vote for. So automatically the economy stalls. And it always drifts over, because I mean, granted, we've all grown up with the thing where we always look at the guy who's got a better house, a better truck, you know, and we think that he must be doing something wrong to be that far ahead of us. And that's human nature. It's wrong, but it's human nature. Human nature is what corrupts government. Always has been, always will be. I don't know if we've gone too far or not. We've gone a long ways down from where we started as a species. This is the whole world, people. We need to quit griping about this stuff and start doing something about this stuff. Stay alive. Don't die. Love you people. Really do.